So then guys, we are just around the corner for the launch of the iPhone 17 models. But some of you guys are thinking that you're not probably going to get this new iPhone 17 or the 17 Pro Max or Air because there is a brand new iPhone Fold that will be releasing around about this time next year. And today I want to go over the top 10 leaks we've heard about for the iPhone Fold that's going to be coming out in a year from now. And let's start with number 1. So to begin with, what about the existence then of an iPhone Fold? Well, we've had leaks in from the likes of, say, Mark Gurman, and we've also had it from Min-Chi Kuo, who have both confirmed that Apple are looking to be making an iPhone Fold coming out in 2026. The design of this phone is going to be essentially very similar to like the two phones that I have here on my desk, like the Honor Magic V5 or the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. So it's going to be kind of like a book type of phone. So with this then, you would have a bigger display on the actual inside, and then you would actually have, say, a normal kind of bar sort of design on the actual front. And funny enough, that does actually lead me on to the second big leak, and that is what about the actual screen sizes we're going to get with this actual phone? Well, we have heard that the outer display, so this is the one that you would have when it's closed, this one would be a 5.5-inch display. And if you've heard of a 5.5-inch display before with an iPhone, well, yeah, we did actually have this. We actually had this display size with the likes of the Plus models we had in the past when we had, say, the iPhone 6 Plus, the 7 Plus, the 6S Plus, yeah, the 8 Plus. Do you remember those phones? They weren't that long ago. But what we essentially had, we had a 5.5-inch display on that. Obviously, we had the big bezels and things like this, and also the home button, and obviously that was Touch ID back then. But yeah, this is going to be now the actual size of this new kind of foldable phone that we are going to get. It's going to be a 5.5-inch display. But then on the inside, when you actually open up this phone, the size of the screen then will probably be just under 8 inches. We've been told it's probably going to be about 7.8 inches big when it's completely opened up on the inside. So it is going to be essentially like an iPad mini on the inside. Even though the iPad mini, the first generation, that was a 7.9-inch display, and now we've got 8.3. But going back to that 7.9-inch, that gives you a rough idea of kind of the surface area of the screen that you are going to get on the inside of this actual phone. So that is quite exciting to see that we're going to get that kind of size inside of it. Now, for the third big leak, and this is one of the big reasons why Apple have not joined the kind of foldable kind of phone market recently, because they've been wanting to perfect their phone to be absolutely perfect when it comes out. And this is all mainly to do with that crease and also that hinge. If they had nailed this out years ago, I'm sure an iPhone Fold would have been out ages ago. But they've been wanting that you won't actually have an actual sort of crease in your display, or a very, very little noticeable crease. And then also when you rub your finger over that crease sort of thing, it won't sort of dip down like into a hole or something like this. And it's quite durable. And we've heard that Apple have invented a patent, or they've submitted, and that it's going to be made out of a stainless steel, and it's also going to be made out of titanium, and also maybe out of a kind of like a liquid kind of hinge. That's what we've been hearing with this new kind of hinge design. And with this then, we will have basically no crease, like I said, and also you won't really feel that dip either. So this leak on its own, I think, is a big one, because obviously this is one of the big reasons why people don't really want a foldable phone, is for that exact reason. It looks like Apple might have sorted out this issue, and I'm sure that other companies will probably start copying a very similar design for that going forward if Apple have nailed it on the head in getting it perfect. But then for the fourth big upgrade we've heard about, and that's all to do with Touch ID. Now you might be thinking, how do I authenticate myself, on this large display when I've got it open, if Touch ID is on the front facing camera? Well, it looks like Touch ID is coming back to the iPhone, but what it will essentially be, it'll be a very similar button like we had with the iPad Air, and we got in the iPad Normal and the iPad Mini. So it'll be a button on the side what you put your finger against, and this will be able to authenticate yourself and things like this. And this is really good that this is coming back, and then obviously this stops actually having that sort of dynamic island on the inside of your iPhone, so you can actually use that full display. But then moving on for the fifth big upgrade, and that is all to do with cameras, and there will essentially be probably 4 cameras on this phone. The first actual camera I'm going to talk about is going to be on the outer side of the phone. If we've got that Touch ID, maybe we'll just have a hole punch camera this time round, because obviously if we've got Touch ID, there's no point putting Face ID and Touch ID on this phone at the same time. So probably on that 5.5-inch display, we'll just have a hole punch camera, and that's where that will live. But then on the inside, when you open it up, there will probably be another hole punch camera. There will not be dynamic island because of that Touch ID. So this is great news to hear that we'll have one on the inside too. But then next of all, like you can see on these renders here, on the rear of this phone, we're probably only going to get 2 cameras on the back. And most likely this will be an ultra wide and also a wide camera. Most likely we'll probably get those 48 megapixels cameras that we have like right now. And obviously you'll be able to do a bit more of a better kind of zoom, maybe up to a 10 or 15 times zoom capability. But it would not be the same of say like an iPhone 17 Pro Max or 16 Pro Max. You won't be able to go up to a full telephoto, full range on there. This is what this phone is designed for. If you want to have that better kind of camera, then obviously, you know, people are going to be saying that you should be opting to get yourself, say, a Pro Max or a Pro model instead. But then for the 6th big leak we've heard about, and that's all to do with colors. And according to Mark Gurman, he believes that colors are going to be quite simple on these phones. So probably we're just only going to get a black or white color or a silver color with them. And like I did say, probably this phone's going to be made out of titanium most likely, or maybe a bit of stainless steel in parts of it. But the color range is going to be kept quite simple. You're not going to get exotic greens or exotic blues probably, or exotic oranges. You're not going to get anything like that on this phone, at least for this first generation of this phone. But just quickly guys, I want to tell you about the channel giveaway for this right here. At the end of September, I'm giving one lucky subscriber on this channel an iPad Pro, and anyone can enter into this giveaway. But let me just quickly tell you about the iPad Pro first of all. This here is a 13-inch iPad Pro, and it's got the M4 chip inside of it, and it's also got 1 terabyte of storage too. And if you know anything about having 1 terabyte of storage in this, this is no longer the baseline version, but it also has 16 gigabytes of RAM, and as I like to say, the full fat version of the M4. So this is the 10-core CPU, the 10-core GPU inside of it, and on top of that too, it's also the cellular version as well. And like I said, I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber on this channel. And all you have to do to enter into this giveaway is quite simple. There's 2 things. First of all, you just need to put down into the comments below of what technology that you're planning to still get in 2025. Maybe it's going to be a new iPad, maybe it's going to be a new iPhone, maybe it's got nothing to do with Apple whatsoever, it could be Nintendo Switch 2, or something else completely different. Just let me know in the comments below. Now, the second part of the giveaway is going to be happening near the end of September time, where I'll be making a video giving you more details about the iPad Pro. There'll also be a form to fill into, and then also I'll be telling you when I'll be doing the live stream to give away the iPad Pro, so you won't want to miss out on that video. So the best thing that you can do right now is make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell too. Now, the last thing I just want to quickly say to you guys, that sadly there are still lots of scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonating me, tend to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram direct message. Please do ignore these people, best you can see right here. Please do report them. But moving on from this, for the 7th big leak, it's all to do with battery life. And it's one of those questions that you've probably been wanting to know is what's going to be happening here. Well, just like the likes of the iPhone 16e and the iPhone 17 Air, we're going to get one of those sort of carbon lithium batteries put inside of these phones. In fact, the phone like I've got right here, the Honor Magic V5, has actually got one of those type of batteries in it right now. And in fact, in this phone, you've got the range of about a 5,600 milliamp battery inside of it. And yet it's super thin. Remember, this phone, when it's closed, is only 8.8 millimeters thin, and it looks like Apple could be adopting a very similar type of battery into their iPhone Fold. What is great news to hear. So if you were worried about battery life, I am going to say this: when it's closed, it's probably going to give you even better battery life than say an iPhone 16 Pro Max out there. But obviously, if you open it up more and use that outer inner display far more than that outer display, obviously probably battery life might drain down a little bit more than the iPhone 17 Pro Max what's about to come out, but probably not much in it, I would say, because obviously the capacity is probably going to be bigger. So this is great news to hear. We'll be getting this with the iPhone Fold. But funny enough, moving on from this, for the 8th big upgrade we've heard about is that we're also going to be getting a new type of the C1 chip, maybe the C2 chip. Remember the C1 chip came out with the iPhone 16e? This is Apple's custom chip for communications, for 5G, for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, what they've built from the ground up, and it's even more efficient now. And the great news is this kind of type of technology, this chip, maybe the next version, will be going in the iPhone Fold. So this means that your battery life will also be extended out, what is great news to hear. So moving on for this then, for the 9th big leak we've heard about, and that is all to do with the release time of this phone. Like I did say at the beginning of the video, it's most likely going to be coming out around about this time next year. So we're looking towards September 2026 when we're going to see the launch of the iPhone Fold. It'll probably be in, say, the early teens of September when we'll actually get the announcement. Just, very similar to like right now, it's at the, just before the teens, September 9th is the ore dropping event, but then probably around about 2 weeks later, late teens, early sort of 20s of September time, is when you'll be able to get your hands on this iPhone Fold for the very first time. So this is really exciting news to hear, that it is only around about a year from now when we're going to get the iPhone Fold. But then finally, for the 10th big leak we've heard about, and that is all to do with pricing. Now, we've heard lots of mixes of what the pricing could be. And what I would be saying, there's a lot of people out there who are going that the price is going to start at $2,500, or the price will be $2,500. I doubt this is going to be the case. And the reason why I say this is because when you've read those articles, it's been saying that it'll be $2,500 for, say, the 1 terabyte option of the actual phone, or even maybe a 2 terabyte option of the Fold phone. Not the baseline version. The baseline version, we've been told from leaks and rumors that we've got in here, that is more likely going to be starting at about $1,800 to $2,000. And to be honest, that is a very similar kind of pricing that we're getting with other phones out there, Fold phones, like the Galaxy, Z Fold 7 here. With that pricing for that, it's a very similar kind of price there. And I can't imagine Apple will want to go even higher than that, because obviously they want to get the same slice of the pie of what like Samsung are getting. That's why the likes of, say, the Ultra 25 by Samsung is a very similar price to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. In fact, the Ultra 25 is slightly more. But you get the idea, they're not going to go higher than the competition out there. They want to keep it around the same sort of pricing. But really, guys, those are the top 10 leaks that we've heard about for the iPhone Fold. Are you excited for it? Are you going to be getting one next year in 2026? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. As always, when you hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.